Palantir is on an absolute tear, with the stock up over 96% in the last 6 months. And they're about to have to prove that all the hype is justified, as they're set to announce their Q3 earnings on November 4th. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at analyst expectations around the Q3 earnings, as well as Q2 earnings, and if there are any major takeaways from that announcement. So if you enjoy the video, drop a like down below, and if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe. As I mentioned, Palantir's stock price is absolutely skyrocketing. In the last month alone, it's up over 20%, and in the last 6 months, it's up almost 100%, and over the last year, it's increased by almost 200%. And this dramatic increase in the stock price has been driven by solid earnings announcements. They have consistently beat on their top and bottom line numbers all of the last 4 quarters, most notably beating on their revenue numbers. For Palantir, revenue is a little bit more important because they're still in their growth stage, and in the most recent 2 quarters, they beat by 2.7% and 3.9%. And now they're set to announce their Q3 earnings on November 4th, and analysts have EPS estimates sitting at 9 cents of positive EPS, while revenue estimates are coming in at $703.69 million. And again, with Palantir being a little bit more of a growth company than a profit driver company, it's more important that they focus on their top line numbers currently. Last quarter, they put up growth of 27% year over year. That is a massive increase. They posted a revenue of $678 million in the second quarter of 2024 compared to $533 million in Q2 of 2023. And what's very important with this number is that they're seeing a re-acceleration of growth. Back in June of 2023, their top line was only growing by 12.7%. However, they slowly increased that up to 20% growth year over year, and then in Q2 of 2024, that increased all the way up to 27.2% year over year growth for their revenue. So when you think about comps year over year, this is obviously against a quarter where they only grew by 12.7%. Next quarter in Q3, they're actually going to be comping against growth of 16, almost 17% year over year, which makes it a little bit more difficult for them to continue growing at this higher speed. However, if they put up numbers anywhere between 25 to 30% growth year over year, that is going to be seen as a positive thing for investors. And that growth really needs to come from the commercial side of their business. Their commercial revenue overall grew by 33% in Q2 of 2024, from $232 million in Q2 of 2023 to $307 million in Q2 of 2024. But the US side is especially growing at a very fast pace. It grew 55% year over year, from $103 million in Q2 of 2023 to $159 million in Q2 of 2024. It's great that Palantir has the US government as well as government revenue coming in general. However, their growth factor is going to be the commercial space. Commercial revenue offers a lot more growth potential moving forward, as they can get into other companies and really expand a lot of their business. Also, with them being a software as a service business, when you start thinking about industries, they can apply similar technology across the same industry, and that really lowers their overhead costs for rolling out these softwares. And the Rule of 40 demonstrates very well why revenue growth is so important for a business like Palantir. Keep in mind that the Rule of 40 is just an additive of growth rate for revenue plus margin. And what we have here is we could see that over time, the Rule of 40 for Palantir has increased very nicely. Back in Q3 of 2023, they had a revenue of 17% and a margin of 29%. As their revenue has increased over time, we can see how their margin has also increased over time. And that's again because the scalability of these software as a service businesses really improves as they grow their revenue and get more and more customers in. And this is especially true for Palantir. And over time, better margins and a higher revenue growth will translate to profitability. They have seen this over the course of the last year, as they have increased their profitability in terms of GAAP net income from almost $17 million in Q1 of 2023 to now sitting at $134.1 million as of Q2 of 2024. But the question is, what can we actually expect from Q3 earnings? So in Q2 earnings, they provided an outlook for revenue for the third quarter of anywhere from $697 to $701 million. That is up from $558 million in Q3 of 2023, which would be an increase of about about 25% year over year. Another very important outlook that they provided in Q2 was around their US commercial revenue. They increased their guidance to $672 million, which represents a growth rate of around 47% year over year. Keep in mind that Q1, they put up a US commercial revenue of $150 million. In Q2, that increased to $159 million. That means over the next 2 quarters, they need to average around $180 million in US commercial revenue. So obviously this is a pretty sizable jump up. However, keep in mind that these earnings announcements normally happen around a month into the next quarter. So clearly they are seeing high demand for US commercial applications of their software. The biggest question for investors right now is the stock price worth the investment for what you are getting with Palantir? Because right now the forward P ratio is sitting at 106.38. That is up significantly from earlier this year when you could buy the stock for around a 60 forward P ratio. And really the only way we can answer that question is by seeing Palantir's earnings. My opinion is that for this stock to continue going up, we need to see them come through and absolutely smash their top and bottom line numbers and see a clear path for the company to continue growing into the future. Again, analysts right now have an average EPS estimate of around 9 cents with a low estimate of 3 cents and a high estimate of 10 cents. That is up year over year from around 7 cents of positive EPS. But right now, this stock is trading at a premium compared to what analysts think it's actually worth. The current stock price is sitting around $44.86. The average price target is only $28.85 with a low price target of $9 and a high price target of $50. In my opinion, I think the only way that Palantir grows after this earnings announcement in terms of its stock price is they come through and they put up $200 million plus of US commercial revenue. That would catch investors off guard and see that Palantir is growing faster than they had even projected during Q2 earnings. And overall, I think Palantir could do that. They could come through and surprise investors. They have shown the ability to do that over the course of the last 2 years. Keep in mind that in early 2023, the stock was trading around $6 to $7 per share. It's now trading over $40. That doesn't happen because the company is just going out there and putting up whatever numbers they want. They have to come through and show that the business is growing consistently. And that's what Palantir has done. So they could certainly do that again for Q3, but I do think it gets more and more difficult as a company grows because oftentimes these things start getting priced into the stock ahead of earnings. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Keep in mind, do not buy a company just because some random guy on YouTube talked about it. Make sure you are doing your own research and looking into companies that meet your risk tolerance as well as your time horizon. With all of that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. And for the joke of the day, why did the Oreo go to the dentist? Check the comments down below for the answer. Thanks for watching.